But before we go into all of that, I want to begin with something else, because you told me that you recently organized a conference about flying cars. Is that right?
Yes, that's true.
I'm super curious about that. So, before we go into a lot of super fascinating topics about entrepreneurship, about how to deal with the stress, with communication issues, with living as a digital nomad, which a lot of people are super interested in. Let's go for a bit into this flying cars stuff, because, from my point of view, flying cars is a bit like fusion energies. Like it's always 20 years away, right? So, I'm a complete beginner in this topic. Could you tell us what is the current status of the flying car industry, and when is it gonna become, like more spread around and everything? Yeah.
Well, flying cars, we were promised flying cars by 2000, and I grew up with a cartoon called The Jetsons. I don't know if it made it over to Spain or into space.
I think I've heard, yeah.
But the year of The Jetsons was 2062. So we're actually getting there pretty quick, right? So if the world of The Jetsons can exist by 2062, then that would be pretty cool, right?
I think we could make it by another 40 years.
Yeah, right. Now, also in a movie called Blade Runner.
I love Blade Runner. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. Now that was 2019, and they had
that was 2019
cars.
Exactly.
Yeah. So somewhere between 2019 and 2062, we're supposed to have flying cars. So I've been working with the U.S. Air Force, and they kind of noticed that movies have gotten ahead of where the world is. So they've been trying to catch up. They want that reality too. And so what's actually happening in flying cars is there are companies around the world, in the US, in China, in Spain, in France, all around, that are creating the components and also the full-on cars that will do. So whenever you see
this is happening. They are building them.
It is happening. And right now is actually the perfect time for these companies to be out there and testing with like fewer people on the road, fewer planes in the air. And what they look like are right now they look like anything from small, larger drones.
Larger drones. Okay.
Yeah, larger drones that can hold just like maybe a package, like a big box, to a helicopter, like an automatic helicopter
where people can go inside.
Yeah, that people can go in. And so by the end of the year, the Air Force has...
So they don't look like, The Fifth Element, the movie, The Fifth Element?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so because in The Fifth Element, they look like cars, basically. So they don't look like cars, right?
Some of
like
them,
a helicopter.
They look like, they do look like, some of them look like DeLoreans because...
Oh, DeLoreans, yeah. I like it.
But they do have to have like wings, like above them.
Oh, like
so
wings.
They look more like they look more like helicopters because they have to. They're just big drones.
Like big drones.
Yeah.
And what is so the Air Force they want to have it. People want to see it. I mean, what are the target case studies? I mean, why do they want to have it? What is the objective? Where do they see these flying cars being useful?
So there's a bunch of different case studies and use cases for these right now. One of the things that I asked them last week in our conference, and you can actually find the video for this entire conference online at agilityprime.com.
That's very interesting. It's Agilityprime.com. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the description of the video. Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things that we asked them was, what are the use cases? Like, because obviously they're not. It's not going to be a taxi service right away.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to be like, hey, like drone, come to my house and take me.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
But in some cities, that is one of the use cases. So in cities like Dubai, where there's helipads on almost all of the buildings.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They are going to be doing that as well.
Wow, like taxis.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so probably by 2022, you'll be as that soon.
No way, really?
That soon.
Wow, that's soon.
Yeah, you'll be seeing these. You'll just be able to open up your Uber and call in Uber Air and
oh wow,
go up to the top of the building and wait for your drone to come and take you to wherever.
Oh, that's super cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another major use case that they're testing right now in California is like automated delivery of PPE. So they're loading the personal protection equipment.
Oh, the personal protection equipment, like for the COVID stuff. Yeah.
So because it's like dangerous to go into hotspots. Like they're actually using these cars automated, and they're having drone controllers, drone pilots, not even in, like, sometimes they're loading them with one person in them, but that person doesn't need to be a pilot. They can just be like a medical professional. They're having them in there, and then they're loading them up with equipment and then sending them into a place that they couldn't get to otherwise.
I mean, that is a fantastic use case. I mean, that a lot of people wouldn't think, immediately about it. Now, a lot of people will be wondering, initially, how risky it's going to be to get into one of these flying cars, Is it a risk at all or not?
Considering that the batteries only, each battery can only go for a certain amount. So that was another question that I asked one of these drone manufacturers, one of these flying car manufacturers.
Yeah.
And so I was specifically talking to eVTOL manufacturers, so like the electric ones. And
the electric ones.
they have to put 18 batteries on them so that
18 batteries. Are these like lithium, or what is the technology?
It's a proprietary battery that they're using.
Okay.
Yeah, and of those, like 6 of them are redundant on purpose, so that if one of them goes out, then it doesn't die. And then it's also built as a road, or like as a glider, so that if somehow they lost all of them, then it still doesn't.
That's very good as a glider. Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. Okay. So, well, that at least you can glide, if they break down.
Exactly, okay. But that's why they're testing. That's why they're in testing right now. And the challenge, they're doing air race challenges. So the Air Force, like at that Agility Prime site that you'll find, the Air Force has a challenge out that, like, they want very specific things, but they want flying cars by the end of this year.
Wow, that's wonderful. I think it's a dream for a lot of people, and I didn't think it would be so close, so near. So this is great news, actually.
Yeah, and it's open to worldwide. It's not just a U.S. initiative, because we know
the technology and everything. Many countries will be able to. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that this is not something that we can do ourselves, and the technology will be something that the whole world can use. So.
That's interesting. So is it happening now because of improvements in different technology areas that are converging all together, or?
Yeah, so it's Moore's Law. We've gotten to the point where we're finally able to create things. And even as we're creating them, technology is getting smaller and better. And we know that the stuff that we're creating this year is going to be obsolete 2 years from now. But it's the time to get started.
Fantastic. Okay, well, there couldn't be a more exciting intro to this conversation. So we take your word, 2022. Of course, we know that it may not be, but we will look forward to that.